Well, it's time to talk about the drama. You guys know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the dark side of competitive Valorant. Now, this isn't drama like other stuff. This is who in the Valorant Tier 2 community is ruining the competitive integrity by throwing games, fixing games, and taking paychecks to fix those games. Talked about the existence of it, but I didn't talk about name, okay? I think he dropped the bomb. But I haven't watched the full video, so I don't know. I watched the first 15 minutes, and it's crazy.
The Tier 2 Valorant scene has been corrupted, rotten to the core. Underground gambling rings are targeting vulnerable, inexperienced, desperate.
Sean Garris, your audio mixing, atrocious. This is the quietest video I've ever heard in my life. I don't know how to make it louder.
To cheat. They're offering sometimes literal children, money, tens of thousands of dollars for a single game, just to throw a single game. While these people are also profiting hundreds of thousands of dollars. Depending on how long this has gone on for or for how far it truly extends, it's likely to be millions by this point. This is literally the kind of scandal that could kill competitive gaming in Valorant. It started when I investigated 2 people.
Okay,
Let's zoom out for a quick second. For those of you who don't follow professional competitive Valorant.
I'm gonna skip this. We know how it works, right? Basically, this impacts the scene that we have been in for 3 years now. Okay, what started as Moist Moguls and became MXS and is now Shopify Rebellion is the league that is impacted. Our Challengers League. Tier 2 Valorant is what it's often called. The league which can ascend to Pro Valorant.
This is my good old friend Bray, aka One of One Bray, aka Bray on Chain. He is the guy that's reaching out to everyone, and this right here, this is what his Twitter looked like.
Hello, Paul.
Well, at least for last week, before he deleted a lot of the incriminating evidence. He follows pretty much everyone in the Tier 2 scene. You can only see about 50 people deep. You can even see, several that I found that were following back before people started realizing that I was onto this whole thing.
So Bray is the match fixer, right? And he's the one who is connecting gamblers, money, and pro players throwing.
These days, you're not going to see any of that, right? It's pretty much all wipes clean. Thanks to some very amazing people.
And his pin tweet is, "I have no sympathy for people who don't work hard. I don't care if you live or die." That's got to be just like the cringiest pin tweet I've ever seen in my life.
That reached out to me, though. Behind the scenes, we actually have evidence.
This guy sees a Mark Wahlberg getting up at 4 a.m. video, going into ice bathwater, gets a rock hard. Because Marky Mark works hard. Marky Mark works hard.
Bray reaching out to at least 4 different players to fix matches. So Teague, who currently plays for Landor, and Practo, who's on Burger Boys, have actually helped me quite a bit in this investigation. And they deserve all the praise in the world for doing that. I'm really hoping the community takes care of these two. I'm working with them actively to craft conversations in their DMs. And these are how our conversations with Bray went.
So Sean has employed the help of 2 pro players to act as moles, right? One from Burger Boys. I forget the name of the other one. I guess the guy's name is Teague. And they are going to feign wanting to throw matches to see how it works.
So here you can see, this is how Bray opened up the conversation with Practo, right? Showing and flaunting these Burger Boys bets against Blue Otter. Drops all 3 of the 10 grand bets for a 2-0 for Burger Boys to beat Blue Otter. And says, "Thank you, Practo. Love you." And then Practo says, jokingly back, "I got you, bro. This time only, though." This is Practo joking completely, by the way, up top. And then that's when Bray takes over and says, "Yo, Practo, you got Discord? Add me, twin. I'm always here. Just saying, you can make a mil at 19. Yo, Teague, let's make 100K each in your next game. What's your Discord? I got 20K for you." Imagine you're one of these young kids, you don't have a salary, and this gem enters. From there, he'll actually take it over to Discord, where you can see Bray starts off, "Sup, G? Landor have any games coming up?" Maybe Challenge is kind of dead at the moment with playoffs starting soon, so we don't have any VCL matches till July. Split 3, July 4, right? What I do is pay.
Here's what always confuses me about this. Who is gambling $100,000 on a Challengers match? Because for this to work, there must be a greater fool being duped. If it's rigged, but that's not how betting works. You can't bet $100,000, right? I don't think there's a casino here that has a line that's paying it out. Somebody has to be on the other side of the bet. But is there 100,000 on the other side of the bet? Like, how does that work?
Challenger players. For example, I'll send a bet slip real quick. Hold on. So when you have a close game, for example, you're playing a good team, I'll pay you $20K to underperform. 10 before the game and 10 after the game. If the odds are good, I can get you 30 for a game. I don't want to get cut for playing poorly since I did shit last split. But is there any way to do it and win? And Bray says, we have streamer accounts on multiple sports books. So that's how we can bet 6 figures plus on challenger games.
I don't know what that means.
And that's the secret sauce right there. And that's a big takeaway is these streamer accounts on the betting sites are how these guys are capable of even dropping bets this big on challenger games.
What does that mean? What's a streamer account? So like if I, Ludwig, the streamer, want to make a bet, I have the ability to make larger bets. Is that it?
And Bray says, nah, LOL, to Teague's
but
message.
that still wouldn't change the necessity for somebody to be betting on the other side of the result.
But if it's like a close game 50-50 and you're playing a good team, it wouldn't look crazy if you had an unlucky game. You feel me? Or just to get Teague one-tapped on their eco round. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like subtle shit. That makes a difference in the round, but not to most watching it. Yeah, you know what I mean. Can bet maps too. So if you play bad for one map, or I just said throw an eco round accidentally on map 1, so you could just shit the bed one map and still win and make money? And Bray says, yes, we should lock in for real. We will speak more about numbers and shit.
The way Bray talks pisses me off, bro. We should lock in when it's like, yeah, dude, throw the game so I can make fucking $100,000. We should lock in for real here. I'm going to press 2 buttons. We need to lock in on this.
About maps, when odds come out for your games, everything makes sense now. There were some crazy upsets this split. Motherfuckers were getting their bags.
He sounds very fake. I mean, I think I see a lot of people like this in life. And actually, I would argue financial circumstances are irrelevant to this breed of person. But there are some people who are so about their bread, they just get lost in it. They will die, like we all will, only caring about how much money they have. But when you die, the money you can't keep. So we should probably spend it all because the pain isn't cheap.
And Bray goes, yeah, bro. Fucking like prosperity esports in Burger Boys and shit. Bam.
Okay. Everything makes sense now. There's some crazy upsets that this split. Yeah, bro. Prosperity and Burger Boys were possibly throwing.
Just like that. 2 of them found. Thank you so much, Bray. Bray, on May 14th. It's ready for you when you want it. This guy literally put Teague's wallet and 20 grand ready to send to Teague. And this is what he's constantly enticing.
Dangling
you,
the carrot.
He's not leaving these leads dead. And you can see, yeah, I understand. I work with a few Valorant players at the moment. And this is on May 1st.
I think all I care about is who he's working with, which teams they were. Because here's the thing. That just said Burger Boys, right? If you guys don't know, Challengers is currently in playoffs. Do you want to know who's in the upper finals of playoffs? Burger Boys. If he's claiming Burger Boys was a part of this, when, who, you know what I'm saying?
I hid the team for privacy reasons, but let me know if you want to run up a fucking bag together. And he flaunts this right here bet. Holy shit. The payout for this, $230,188.10. This guy placed a bet not on the series, but on map 2.
Who is taking the other side of this bet? Unless the casino is acting as the house and paying out regardless. Is the casino coming up with a line here? That just seems like so much work on the casino's end. That's how a sportsbook works. I mean, I guess. But like, I hear that people are doing ranked game bets. So are you telling me the casino is coming up with a line for a ranked game? Like, that seems unlikely. This is not the same as like a fucking NBA game. It's exactly the same. It's brain dead from a casino's perspective because the amount of information they have is so much smaller than an NBA game. So their lines are way less accurate. To the point where individuals can have controls on the outcome and maybe heighten their chances of success in a bet like we are watching right now? Says who? I would assume Bray. I would assume the guy who made $230,000 from the casino would say this. Because you know what's not possible is making this same exact bet, but for game 2 of the NBA Finals. So I would assume Bray would be on my side with this. Me and Bray, bro, ride or die.
Team was winning 5-3. That's how you read this. So he's going to get 1.72 times what this number is, which is what he staked up. And he's betting at a time of the series where it was 1-0, the second map, and the score was 5-3. And you can see, do you know anyone else that would be interested? I'll cut you in profit, obviously. I mean, it doesn't even have to be that the specific person's doing it. You just have to refer a friend. You get a signing bonus. Everything is anonymous, and you will make minimum 5 figures per game. Please delete messages. Whenever you want to be driving a Lambo.
I hate the way this guy talks so much. I hate the way this guy talks deeply within my heart, man. God, he talks so... I just realized his name is Bray Crypto NFT Group. I just read the full name. I was just reading the Bray part. I missed the Crypto NFT Group.
You know the guy to go to. And then he hits him up again on the 19th. I am recording this on the 21st. This guy is still messaging people. And this is regarding the playoffs of North American Challengers. Even though he knows I know. He knows I know. He literally has a clip talking about me to my players. He's playing ranked to this day on Riot Game servers.
Yo, Paint, how do you feel about the current stage of
Let's end their misery.
I think, honestly, it's in a really bad state.
Sean Garris thinks the same thing.
But I think I can understand people's reasonings behind what they do. Because it was already in a bad state beforehand.
Not really helping the community.
He's offering $50,000 for this game.
You know what's interesting is this is happening after Sean said that there are people throwing. So this guy doesn't give a fuck. I think he's under the impression that there's no comeuppance coming for him. And he might be right about it. Because what authority is going to step in? It's like crypto gambling is about as unregulated as it can be. Riot Games has made basically no attempt or effort to step in. You know, worst case, you get your, ranked account banned. Oh no. And it seems like the casino doesn't give a fuck either.
$40,000 guaranteed. $40,000 to lose map 1. And I'm going to bet Burger Boys money line for $20K. Just for fun. Just for fun, though. Just for funsies. When down 1-0. And he does this to change the odds, right? Those live odds. You can bet live in the game. That's how sinister this really is. Let me know ASAP. And Practo responds shortly after. I'm good.
I'm good. Thanks for the offer, though.
Thanks for the offer, though. And you can see as the conversation progresses here, if the players get a little finicky, they get worried. Bray literally tells them, delete all these messages. You don't need to keep this here. Let's move our messages to Telegram. No one's going to catch us there. This is the message that you'll see a lot. Everything's going on is crazy right now. Let's move combos to Telegram. So he's moving
TG. I'm not a Telegram head. Is that the right vernacular? What's your TG, bro? It's not. Is it normal to have a Telegram? I don't have a Telegram. I don't know if that's weird for me. Chat, press 1 if you got a Telegram. To be fair, I don't even got a Snapchat, so I could also be a boomer on this. It seems like a good amount of people have a Telegram. Actually, hella people have Telegrams. I use it for military operations, doxed.
everything to Telegram, and this is May 16th.
Okay, well, don't say there's a lot of sex traffickers on there and everyone in my chat is pressing 1. It's kind of, that doesn't feel good for me.
Just days after Riot started their investigation. And this is what I was fearful of. The second these guys know that you're onto them, whoop, everything is gone. Nothing is left. No proof of anything. And if you didn't record it,
awesome.
You're too late. And these people are a little bit scared, right? If I get caught doing this, I'm going to lose my livelihood. You know, I could lose all of this time I sunk in. So you're worried about getting leaked? Just damn me on Telegram, this encrypted peer-to-peer chat messaging program where, you know,
dude, this guy sucks. This guy sucks, man. Young, rich, and successful. Is that shit an NFT profile picture too? This shit sucks.
we can talk there about throwing this game and cryptocurrency and how
Is Telegram the one that got hacked from all the White House people from Pete Hegseth? Is that Telegram? That was Signal. Okay, that's my bad. Signal.
It could be. You know, it is very difficult to catch this.
So it wasn't hacked? Wait, how did it leak? They added a random person. Being the Signal PR representative and having to be like, no, the Secretary of Defense was not hacked. Our site is good. He just accidentally added a random person. We hope he continues to use their service. They added a journalist and it happened twice. Yeah, that's beast. That's beast, man. They're going to keep us safe though, man.
Just because the Discord messages are empty doesn't mean anything to me, truthfully. I mean, I've seen it back in the eye by power days.
Love this goddamn country. God bless.
The players denied it for months and months and months, and dragged the community through the mud. And it wasn't until a leaked text message from an ex-girlfriend where it all came crumbling down. It's hard to believe that a lot of these people just had conversations die out when I see how
it's not an NFT, it's Milady. It's the best NFT. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Someone tell me that they have the best NFT doesn't really do shit for me. Like, because I think all NFTs are unequivocally lame. You know what I'm saying? So if someone's like, yo, I actually have the finest smegma. I really took the cheese from the penis, from the best penis in the world. I have the best smegma collection. I wouldn't be like, oh, sick. It's not going to change things for me because I think all smegma's gross. In the same way with NFTs, I find all NFTs gross. I'm eating. Well, look, I'm trying to just give you an analogy here. Stick with me.
This guy's treated convos with both Practo and Teague. Just constantly keep going, keep asking, prodding. That's going to bring us into our next part. That was a good analogy. That's how the conversation goes. But truthfully, people like Bray are also connected to crypto groups. And those groups are connected and run by people like this guy, Cooker Flips. And he is the founder of Pastel Alpha, which is a crypto trading group where they give people suggestions on like what cryptocurrencies to buy. In my experience, I've been in crypto for quite a while. These types of groups lose you money because the people running
this name is crazy.
The groups are the first to buy crypto. And if you buy first and you dump on the guy that buys second, well, that guy's stuck holding your bag and then needs to get someone to buy at a higher price.
I see a blue check mark like this. I know it's time to get off Twitter. This or Yoxic.
He bought in. So the people that often start these groups have a lot of purchasing power. They'll buy heavy into the crypto ahead of time at very low cost. And then when you come into the group and get the suggestion,
they bet against me. Shopify Rebellion Black versus Core. Match winner. Maji de.
They're looking for the chart to bump up. They can then kind of slightly sell off onto you, and then you're left holding the bag.
Thank you, the 20 gifted the treehouse. I appreciate that. One step closer to being young, dumb, and rich like Bray.
I don't really have insight into their crypto group, but I do know that this guy has made some serious bets on these challenger games.
Damn, they're betting on Burger Boys every time.
Serious bets on Burger Boys of all teams. Wow, that is surprising. And what do you know? They're actually playing Blue Otter. That's the team that Fair plays for. So wow, this is so coincidental. And what do you know? He put 30 grand on this game. Holy moly. And also a 2-0, 30 grand. He must have felt really confident about that one. So looking through what's left of some of the stuff on Cooker's profile, you can see a little bit of how this guy operates, right? What's going to happen here and what you're going to notice is he actually has some legitimate bets. And what that's all about is, truthfully, he's just washing the money. Think Breaking Bad Walter White, the car wash, right? This guy's trying to take this illegitimate money that is only coming in from challenger games and make it look like he's also making money on other things. Because if you only made millions of dollars on challenger games and you didn't also, lose some on coin flippy VCT games that you're just kind of guessing on, well, then it would look really weird. I speculate
That's how they keep the casino hooked. They're counting cards, but after counting the cards, they chuck a couple of grand on roulette, and the casino's like, all right, no worries there.
that he's kind of washing some of this money, but you can see his profit margins have just got insane in some of it.
God is good. God is great. For one damn second, read the Bible. The Bible hates rich people when they use their means for only themselves. Might be Muslim. That's the sect that's the most about that shit. Maybe not sect. I'm pretty sure it's haram to borrow money. Even borrowing money.
He's just giving money away all of a sudden on Twitter. You know, everyone's getting giveaways. And this is an expense for him because he's building his brand, actually. So with free money that he's getting from Challenger Games. He did bet here on Prosperity, and we do know a thing or two.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, I'm right on this one. Oh, okay. Wait, hold up. It's a loan that's haram because the interest is the haram part. All right, I appreciate that. I appreciate that correction. JB Nasty, think you did 20 gifted? So I guess any realistic way you would borrow money. I guess borrowing money from a friend's chill. But getting any money from official routes.
Prosperity, according to...
Thank you very much. That's 20 gifted. Appreciate that.
That's interesting. They beat our team. You might notice that he has some notable followers, such as Josh RT. And when I saw this, I couldn't believe it, right? I was like, why is Josh following this guy? And so I did indeed get Josh in a call. And I am pretty happy to say I'm fairly confident Josh RT is actually very unlucky in this whole thing, right? They basically reached out and they tried to give him free access to the crypto group. They said it's a very expensive service. And they use him as almost kind of like an advertising method. So right here, you can see him, you know, basically flaunting his open DMs on the stream live for everyone to see.
What rank am I in Val? I'm ass. I think I'm like silver or bronze. I don't play Val, like seriously. I don't have time to play, you know, I don't have time to put any effort into these
Just
games.
say your ass, man. Why is he's pussyfooting around? Your ass. You're bad. You're bad at the game. It's not about lack of effort, lack of this, lack of that. You're bad at the game. That's okay. You've made millions scamming people. That's fine. You got the bag, but you're ass at Valorant. Just say it how it is. I'm tired of people pussyfooting around. It gives the same energy as people in school who are like, yeah, nah, I got like B's and C's, but if I applied myself, I'd have straight A's. Well, you don't.
Games anymore?
Your ass.
No point. No point. I mean, silver, bronze, doesn't really fucking matter. This guy is just a savant when it
I'm not ass at Valorant, chat. I'm diamond.
comes to picking NA Challenger games. Coin flippy ones, too, on the underdogs. He loves the underdogs. It's like that IQ bell curve. This guy's so far on the left. He's like on the right side with the geniuses. I'm stuck in the middle. I'm getting cooked out here. Why are they betting tens of thousands of dollars on tier 2 Valorant matches when you're bronze and silver? Why? You don't understand the game and you don't even have time to play. Well, I think we know why.
The money vacuum.
Valorant used to have a lot of money in its peak. At its peak, around like 2020, you know, early quarantine days to 2022, there were so many orgs.
Yep.
And to show that, you can actually go to the subreddit. These are some of the orgs that we've lost since franchising. That is a lot of logos.
That is so
I am
many
literally
logos.
getting nerd chills looking at this. These are teams that I co-streamed, I casted when I was a caster, orgs that paid.
Dude, these logos, I mean, some of these are just so butt. Some of these logos are so butt. Damn, I forgot how ass some of these logos were. My lord. The Griffin E-Sports. That's kind of fire. Geek fam. Geek fam. That's like the fucking geek part, huh?
Serious salaries and have great backing. As you go on, there's just less and less paying opportunities in this space. And what that does is it creates an absolute vacuum of what these guys just sunk in thousands of hours to get paid for. You learned how to be a pro gamer in Valorant, and now there's no money in the scene. And you might miss out on a lot of opportunities in those years that you were doing that. You might have put a relationship on hold. You might have put school
Education
on hold. You might have
hold.
put an important job on hold.
Yep.
You took huge risks thinking that the scene would be what it was.
He's true about all
why
this.
wouldn't it at least look somewhat like that? Especially with VCT coming around the corner, right? I mean, VCT's only been around for like 2 years, but the presence of VCT and how all those challenger orgs were trying to get to VCT, once they realized the difficulty and challengers of making it, the actual likelihood of that one team that ascends per region, and just the likelihood of your challenger team doing that, holy, it's...
What's going on is pro pay dog shit now. I think there's a league minimum for pro pay, so it's not dog shit. I think it's a completely livable wage. The issue is if you're not a tier 1 pro. So if you're a tier 2 pro, there is no league minimum, and several people aren't getting paid at all because there's no org that would pay them. They're getting paid because they're just a group of 5 people playing games together through prize pools or something. So there is no money. Yet there are some people who do have money in. So like you need to still be at a high enough level, grinding enough that it is your full-time job. JB Nasty, thank you for the 10 gifted. So anyway, that makes things a bit harder. How much of the prize pool goes to the players usually? Usually 100%. It depends on the esport. For most esports, it's 100%. For some esports, like maybe Dota, it's different, but I don't know. But also, there's not that many tournaments, I think, for prize pools if you're in Challengers Tier 2.
It's rough. Obviously, at this Tier 2 level, a feeder league, it's a pillar that's required in any kind of sport, right? Think of like collegiate basketball, collegiate football, anything like that. In traditional sports, they all have these type of circuits to feed up into the pro league where people are taken care of in the lower leagues. That is no longer the case in Valorant, and it's created this vacuum. The veterans that got used to that money are now desperate, right?
Here's what happened with Valorant, man. The issue with Valorant is that when it first started, there were no official teams, right? Anyone could make a team. They could try to get the 5 best players that they thought would work together well and hope that they would win. And tournaments were like kind of free for all. You know, it was just like CS. Yeah, you could make it and qualify into a tournament. If you qualified in, you could be in this major and then you could feasibly win it. And then, you know, after running that ecosystem for a little bit, Riot was like, okay, we are going to like start our own league, and there's going to be these teams in those leagues. So now those teams get to go to all the tier 1 events. If you weren't a part of that, there was basically only one viable strat, which was try to win tier 2 and make it to tier 1 on the guest spot. Where it went from before, which was teams qualifying and everyone competing to make it to the tier 1 event. Now everyone is competing for the chance of one of them making it to a tier 1 event. So what happened over years after the franchising started is teams left because it's a big gamble, right? To hope that you are the first place team, because there's a big chance that it doesn't work out. You know, the bottleneck is tiny. It's a good way to put it. So teams gave it a year, maybe 2 years, and then they all left. And even the teams that did win and move on to tier 1, they also left, like the Guard, because the cost for being a franchise team is really expensive. There's a huge initial cost, like a few $1 million. So basically the only winners in Valorant are the teams that were chosen for the franchising spot when they started the league. They are the winners. They won. They get skins in game to make money off of. They're in the premier side of esports, which will get the bulk of the viewership. They are the winners there. The losers is everybody else. Everyone else, straight up the losers. And that's kind of how it's been.
Created a lifestyle around expecting that kind of income. You might be locked into some kind of apartment lease. You might be living a lifestyle with a partner that you can no longer live at all because you can't even get paid, period. And the young, inexperienced talent, the The pros who haven't really
50 gifted on YouTube from JB Nasty. Thank you. The 50 gifted JB Nasty. YouTube gifts going crazy today.
learned their lesson. They're the ones being targeted the most. People like Braid now have you by the balls, though. If you throw that
Got
one
you by the
game,
damn balls.
if you listen to him,
all right, let's
you
go
are
on.
then on the
Evidence dot zip. Oh my God,
comment
evidence dot zip. This is a melee crossover.
question's going to be, how did I stumble into this? Truthfully, it all started with that loss against Blue Water. I don't know, it didn't sit well with me when I signed off the co-stream. So I went back that night and I rewatched.
Damn, he's got great deltoids.
I have rarely in my career, I can't even
Fuck, he's
remember
hot.
times where I've got out of a game and I thought the other team was cheating in some kind of way. I believe it to be a loser mentality, and it will hinder growth in any kind of competitive sport. So I try not to cope and use these things as excuses. And honestly, I don't think I ever have in my whole career. But this match was different. I was very confident. The coaches were very confident coming into this match. And I'm looking at this and I just couldn't believe it all. Like, this team caught so many timings and they beat our team, who came into this match very, very prepared. Honestly, super prepared for a lot of the stuff Fair ended up doing even. But he just caught immaculate timings across the map, took space in ways that I've never seen anyone take space while using zero utility. So that's when I decided, okay, I have to dive into this, Blue Otter game against Burger Boys. What I'm about to show you is bizarre. Now, what you're going to notice here is Bob over here at Dish, send it. Absolutely send it. I don't know if I've seen anyone do this. She runs it down and drones from this aggressive spot, the stealth drone on Teo. Now, this drone is seen by everyone. It sees the Cypher, it sees people in the deep lines. And so you would think that Bob solo Dish and no one around to push would just respect that and let it go.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Bob sends it. The gun isn't even out when you look at Bob through the wall. And on your screen, that's Fair. I just watched this one round and I couldn't even believe it.
The drone actually only sees the Cypher. Still, I still throw a sausage. I don't understand. Basically, he's saying Teo was very aggressive because usually there's a fight at this point on the map. There's a fight here because these players are able to swing here at the same time these players are able to swing here. So this is usually a contested space. But rather than actually check to see if it's contested, he just ran up confidently to this point and used the drone from here, which is a lot more space taken unsafely. And then the drone, he's saying, caught this guy and these guys, which this is contested by the players. The players are saying it did not catch these guys. It only caught these guys. And then he swung out and got fucking murked. And he swung out without his gun.
Absurd.
So this is Bob. Basically, I think the implication is Bob might be throwing.
So again, at this point, I'm pretty interested. They're just sending it. Let knife out. Like, what? You're playing against a Breach Teo Neon. I mean, this is insane. Why are they not counter-utiling is what I'm thinking. So they're just sitting here. I mean, Bob hits some miraculous shots, I'm not going to lie, to get those 2 kills.
Some dodge shots.
But then you keep watching, and you can see, even though there's a neural theft, even though 3 people were spotted, or I'm sorry, 2 extra people were spotted Dish, they end up getting that kill on Zeke, who into them. But if you watch Brimstone, watch Zoe Stoll, running with knife out right now. So they get the spike, running knife out. The gun isn't even out. Now, that is crazy.
Dude, throwing on this goofy ass music is crazy.
That's crazy. I'm just baffled at this point. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. And this is when I started to realize I don't even think this is a one-person thing anymore. I mean, watch how this plays out.
Maybe she's
so
just
she chickles
ass
out
at the
wide,
game.
immediately gets stunned, peeks out, dies. This guy peeks out, dies. And, the round's literally just over.
Maybe
this
she's
ult
ass
is
like
just
you would not believe. Maybe
crazy
she
to
is
me.
the Valkyrie of this shit.
Now look
Everyone
at
goes,
where the...
clip it. Yep. And we're sending that one array, Ludwig. Yep. All right, here's the facts, okay? Tier 2 matches are being bet on. people are winning these matches. People are throwing these matches. Like, you can kind of take those all as fact. There's claims that people are throwing, and the people who are saying people are throwing are also winning bets. So I think we can believe it to be true that there are people throwing. Now, from there, you have to play a bit of a puzzle game on who actually is the one throwing. You have it maybe narrowed down to a couple of teams based off of a source.
This is Bob, the FlyQuest Red player on Blue Otter. This is her match history leading up to the match against us on the 6th. You can actually see she lost in Game Changers to the Shopify Gold team the day before. And the day before that, she played a different match and lost. And the day before that, she played 3 matches and won all 3. Four matches. Then you have this game, the game that had the $30,000 bet on it. And here you have Fair's profile. And you can also see, he played the match against us.
So this is okay. It seems like it's difficult to pin with concrete evidence somebody cheating. There's not going to be like a smoking gun, follow the money. Here's the chat log between Blue or Fair and the cheater. So he's trying to draw conclusions based off of play, coincidental bad moments, and also stats, aka records, to show like, hey, the only times that they're losing or even going 0-2 is against Burger Boys, which happen to have a $30,000 bet on it. I don't think Sean's goal here is necessarily using these pieces of evidence or whatever to like get these players banned. Maybe that's part of it. But you know what? Let's just watch it and have him say it in his own words. Because I imagine the goal is to have some structural changes to prevent this from happening.
Through a game, to say it's not happening with all this evidence would literally be insane. I'm not going to lie, I do have theories, but I'll leave that for another day. There are multiple teams that I have reason to believe are also match fixing within Tier 2. Bray himself has confirmed in DMs that Prosperity and Burger Boys are among the teams that are involved. There are other teams that I believe are working.
Shouldn't they be banned? I think they should be banned, yeah. They should be investigated by Riot, which I think is already happening. So maybe suspended until investigation's over. But what's probably more valuable, creating a way for them to not be able to do it again, or anyone else to not do it again, really.
With them too. I think Sad Esports is one of them. I mean, some of the matches that I went over that aren't in this video are crazy. And then you have TSM and Ambrosia on a bet for 134 grand. Everything about that match says something weird is going on, including the fact that there are people in that server that mutually follow back Bray and Cooker. And quite frankly, I think it's unlikely that they're going to be betting, 134 grand on a match that they don't know the outcome of, while betting 30 grand on one they do know the outcome of. Now, I don't know if all of these players are guilty or on the in, but what I do know is that as a team, something weird happened, right? And that is proven by my conversation with someone like Practo or Teague. These players are singled out. So it doesn't even need to be a whole team that's involved here. And that's something to keep in mind. These players could be getting paid to intentionally underperform.
Like Shoeless Joe Jackson.
I don't know. They could be getting paid to do otherwise based on fair, right? I don't know. It sucks to even think this. I have these examples where, Bray literally, I see this, and I've been keeping an eye on this guy, so I even told Kane, right, on the 15th, right here, the day that they said they have to move everything to Telegram. I said, you better document it all. There are real-world impacts and repercussions, though, from this match fixing and cheating, and that's ultimately why I'm here. Shopify Rebellion Black, or the Split 1 champions. That's the team that I general manage for. We were set to continue that success in Split 2. The points slot is very important. There's 2 slots that move up to this Ascension tournament. And that's the only goal of your challengers, to ascend to VCT.
True.
One of the slots is the point total. So by getting cheated out of playoffs, point total now is completely messed up.
We got cheated out of playoffs? Where's that, Sean? Why'd you skip the cheating section? Because, bitch, Sean took 30 fucking minutes to go over matches and nobody in my chat understands that they're getting pissed off.
And Riot earmarked several of the rounds that we will now look at. Buckle up.
So apparently, by the way, every clip that we're watching wasn't Sean Garris finding these clips. They were given to Sean by Riot Games, specifically the Riot Games eSports compliance team.
And Riot earmarked several.
And they were flagged as suspicious gameplay behavior.
The rounds that we will now look at. Buckle up. This is where things get a little bit fun.
So I mean, yeah, I would argue if it's just Sean Garris and he's the GM of Shopify Rebellion and he goes, Shopify Rebellion was cheated out of this game by Blue Otter, the natural reaction is, okay, well, Sean, you're being a pussy. You lost and you are mad that you lost. I think that would be one interpretation of it, right? But because Riot Games is backing it and they're saying these are also sus, I think that adds more legitimacy.
Draw awareness to some of the weird stuff that's happening. They can flag some shady behavior in the scene. And I don't know, maybe we can get tips on more ways that this is happening, because it's not just these two. Well, there's other people also sending messages to these players. Unfortunately, I didn't even find out about those guys until it was too late. Since the news broke, Shuffle.com suspended Tier 2 Valorant betting. But as you
That's big.
can see, it's back. And
Fuck. That was such a short-lived victory. That was such a short-lived victory, man.
even when it was suspended, Bray continued contacting players, but deleted everything off of his Twitter in the meantime. So it's very hard for people to come into this and track what has been going on. Riot knows about these issues, and I've been communicating with them directly, going all the way back to the morning of May 7th. But as a multi-billion-dollar corporation, they probably are going to look in their best interest for their bottom line, and they're going to move a lot slower in their investigation than I would like. Crypto and Telegram make this incredibly hard to trace.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I think you need to move fast in things like this, because once people know you're onto them, it becomes exponentially harder to catch this. So more than ever, I honestly think we need a replay system so we can catch individual players that are cheating or doing weird things. You have overview shots of scenarios. And thankfully, Anna Donlan announced that's coming out in September. But man, if we had it now, it would be incredible for something like this. We need better anti-cheat software. Vanguard needs to be updated, and punishments absolutely need to be given to the players that undermine the integrity of this game. There's a lot of suspicious stuff that I haven't been able to include in this video. A lot of stuff has come to me after I sent out that Twitter video. And I'm very thankful for the people in the community that took that risk to send it to me. Even the people that, don't want this shared, I have respected those wishes. And there's a lot that's happening behind the scenes regarding that stuff. Thank you so much to everyone that's worked with me.
Okay. Apparently, Blue Otter replied. Sean Garris recently put out a video about the Tier 2 Valorant scene. In this video, he accused a couple of the Blue Otter players for match fixing and or cheating. We take these accusations seriously and will fully condemn the actions of these players if allegations turn out to be true. As of right now, we'll continue to support these players until more concrete evidence comes to light. Accusations of this magnitude and from a large influencer in the scene could hurt any future opportunities of these players if they're false, and could hurt the Tier 2 scene. We applaud Sean for trying to make the scene a better place by trying to bring problematic players into light, but we believe he missed the mark on this one. We have supported the Blue Otter VCL roster for 7 months. The entire team practices almost every day and is continuously trying to improve so they can qualify for the Ascension tournament. We would be extremely disappointed if Fair and Bob are guilty of match fixing and will support any ruling that Riot Games makes. That's probably good. Holy, what a PR statement. I mean, look, that's probably as good of a statement as you can have, I think. What do you want them to say? Has Fair or Bob replied? It looks like Fair just retweeted the statement and then went back to clip posting. And Bob posted about a cool movie she watched and then posted, "What the frog?" I walked into Bob's room and asked if she was max fishing. She said, "No, lol, I'm rich." And then I walked out. Yeah, I mean, I think the main sentiment is, hey, if this is wrong, this would really hurt their careers and hurt the Tier 2 scene. I agree full with hurting the careers, which is why I'm not trying to dogpile anyone. You can't hurt the Tier 2 scene when it's already fucking dead. Like, be fucking for real. What do you mean hurt the Tier 2 scene? What are you saving, bro? It's almost as dead as you can get. Oh no, hurting the scene with no money in it whatsoever, where one team maybe will have the opportunity to go Tier 1 for a year or something, and your org will probably drop you along the way because it's too expensive. It's not exactly hurting.